to be displayed. And the next thing it requires, if you check, is the context. So we're going to pass the context now. Okay, so in the context, what do you want to pass? So inside of the context, we are going to pass the IDs, node IDs. So we already got all of the node IDs when we loop through it. So this map is going to return all of the node IDs. Okay, and then we're also going to pass the nodes. So basically what we're passing is these nodes. Okay, all right, now what we're going to do is just map through it. So we'll say nodes and check if the nodes are available. If they are, then I'll say nodes dot map post. We get the post over there. And remember, we created this all post, so I'm just going to push that over here. All post dot push. And just pass post over here. Okay, and then finally just return all post. Once that is done, then we just call this function. Once it gets resolved, we just await for this this function, which is fetch post, to get resolved. And once it is resolved, fetch posts, then we get all posts over here, and we just loop through all the posts, and if all posts available, just map through it, and we get the post over here, and then we just call the create page function. So if you check, we're just mapping through the data. So we get the data when this function gets resolved. So I just want to give you kind of a recap for this. So once this function gets resolved, which is this fetch post, then if you notice, we are returning all posts. We are actually looping through all the nodes and then just returning all of the posts. So once it is resolved, because it's returning all the posts data, which is basically all of the post data here, then we'll have all of the post data available here. We'll loop through it, and then we're just going to create the page dynamically. So if you notice, we just loop through it and then call the create page function. So I can just call the create page function over here, which we had already pulled out of the action, and then we just have to pass path component and context. Oops, not this one actually. This one is for all of the post. So not here, but here. Page. So this one is actually for the child ones, for the children. So like this one is going to be displaying all of the posts. Whenever we loop through it, we have the data available for the posts, and then we're going to create the pages, that particular page, so just one page basically, which is this one, which will have all of the posts available. But then we also need to loop through individual posts and then also display a single page, to create the single page for them. So for that, we'll need to pass the data. So what all do we need? So we need the path. So what will be the path? So over here, let's say that path will be block. You can and then whatever the URI for that block is available. So if you check post, we have a URI available, which is basically the slug. So we just put that slug there. So let's do that. So inside of post, so inside of the post, I will have the URI available. So I'll just put that URI, which is basically the slug. So I will have my single page available as /block/ the slug of it. Then I need the component. So you know that we already have created a component, which is single post template. So I'll just put that there. and then the context. So in the context, basically I want to pass the data which I'm going to use in the single post template to display the title, the featured image and things like that. So I already have all of the data available in post. So rather than putting all of the data that we have here, like the post ID, excerpt, and all of that featured image information, is better we just use the spread operator and just spread all of this properties over here. So all of the data will be available. Okay, brilliant. So now I think we are done with creating pages. Now all we have to do is just go ahead and display that. So now I'm just going to stop the server and just restart it. I think we had put the templates in the public. We need to put that in source. Okay, let's just run the development server. Okay, this won't be const, it'll just be block page over here, so it's available right here. Awesome. So now if I go on to the blog page, okay, so we were on the root earlier, and now if I go to the blog page, you can see that now it says show all blocks with excerpt. Okay, now that means that all we have to do now is just go to our templates. So inside of source we have templates, posts, and I'm just going to display all of the data over here, right? So let's do that now. Now at the time of creating the page, because we had passed this configuration which is context, whatever data we are passing in the context will now be available to your template. So our template we are using is blog template, which is this one, and then the notes and everything will be available here. So all I have to do is just pull it off using object destructuring. So I'm just going to say, so this will be available in page context actually. So let's say page context, and I want to get hold of the notes. So I'm just going to do that. And then because in Gatsby you already have something called layout available. So layout basically helps you to repeat some of your content onto multiple pages. So for example, every site would have a header and a footer. So rather than writing header and footer and even nav menus on all of the pages every time, we can just use a layout component, and then whatever we want to put inside of it, we can do that. Then just use the props.children to render the content dynamically on individual pages. So we already have the layout available, which contains your header, footer, everything. So we're just going to use the layout. So I'm going to say layout, and then over here I'm just going to say h1, and this will be like blog. And let's keep checking what's happening on the front end. So now you can see that I've got the header and the footer. And then I will say div with an ID of blog. And then since my notes have all of the post data available, so if you check, we have the post data available inside of the notes. So I'm just going to loop through it. So first I'm going to check if notes has some value, and then just loop through it if it is, and then say post. I'm going to get post. So I'm going to get these individual posts now. And then over here inside of the post, I'm just going to pull all of this information. So I'm going to get hold of the ID, the post ID, the URI, and all of that information. Okay, so I'll say const. So using object destructuring, so I'll get ID, post ID, title, content, excerpt, URI, and featured image. Post. Okay, so I think that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we're going to just go ahead and render the markup and just use these variables to fetch the data for these posts. I hope you did like the video. If you did, please give a thumbs up, and do follow me on Twitter My Twitter handle is Imran H Sayed, and on GitHub as well, my Twitter handle is the same on GitHub as well. Okay, I'll see you then in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.